All right, we're going to get started. Good evening, everyone. We are so thrilled that you are here. My name is Bobby Gantu. I'm Associate Vice President for Strategic Enrollment Management, Applied Learning, and Director of Admissions. But really, for all intents and purposes, tonight I'm your MC. You're stuck with me for just a little bit, but you're going to hear from far more charming and bright people who know a lot about Wichita State other than me. So that's good news for you. I'm going to walk you through a lot of what's going on at Wichita State. The goal here is to make sure that we have informed all of you as our admitted students for the fall semester who are from the greater Kansas City area, in some cases, Northeast Kansas and Topeka, all you need to know about Wichita State and what the next steps are in terms of your journey to potentially be a shocker. I know many of us and many of you may still be in decision mode on where you want to attend, and that's okay, that's fine. We're happy to have you here. And some of you have already decided that you are attending Wichita State. So that's great too. We're happy to have you here. So whatever brought you here today, our goal is to just really make sure that we help you answer your questions and make sure that you've got all the information you need in terms of Wichita State. So that being said, I'm going to get started. It's my role to first kind of bring forward campus updates about what's going on at Wichita State. So I'm going to whip through several slides. And by the way, you may have noticed that we are recording this event, and we will be sure to post it on our YouTube channel and then send it out as a follow-up email. So certainly you're welcome to take notes as I'm talking and the other presenters are talking, but just know that we'll make sure you get the recording of this. And then at the end, we will be doing a drawing for a $1,000 scholarship for someone who is in attendance tonight. So just be mindful of that. And we do ask that you be present at the end. So just kind of stay tuned for that. All right. That being said, my first slide is really kind of to tell you about something that's really exciting for Wichita State. We are the first university in Kansas to be featured in an Amazon Prime streaming series called The College Tour. It's a really cool series. They are on like season 13, I believe, season 14, where they just go around and highlight colleges to help families like you all be informed about what each college offers. We are, again, the first university in Kansas to be a part of that. And so we thought we'd give you a little sneak peek. Our official episode doesn't air on Amazon Prime until May, but we thought we'd give you a sneak peek of just a couple of the videos. The first video is one of my favorites, and it really showcases our city and our community of Wichita.
We have the distinguished honor to hear from Wichita Mayor Lily Wu. Mayor Wu is a 2007 graduate of Wichita State, and she continues to work with the university in her official capacity to strengthen partnerships and support the growth and development of Wichita and its institutions. Mayor Wu, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Alex. It's my honor to welcome you to my hometown of Wichita, Kansas. I arrived here as an 8-year-old immigrant from Guatemala and now serve as the city's 103rd mayor. I'm living proof that anything is possible in the air capital of the world. In 2003, I was blessed to start my collegiate journey at Wichita State and was awarded the Distinguished Full Ride Core Scholarship. I majored in international business and integrated marketing communication. While at Wichita State, I gained hands-on experience at WSU-TV and internships at the Hayes Company and Koch Industries. I appreciate the connections and opportunities that Wichita State provided me through mentors and student organizations. The connections I made and the community involvement I experienced during my years at Wichita State helped me to lead Kansas's largest city. Wichita is a global city that celebrates cultural diversity with festivals like Riverfest, the Tallgrass Film Festival, and the Wichita Asian Festival showcasing our vibrant community. We have amazing food festivals, and our city offers more than 1,200 restaurants, from global cuisine to local breweries and coffee shops that make Wichita a foodie paradise. Wichita State's affiliated institution, WSU Tech, offers opportunities in other fields, including aviation maintenance, smart manufacturing, culinary arts, and professional pilot certification. Wichita State's commitment to our community is also evident in the $300 million investment in healthcare through the Wichita Biomedical Campus. I'm proud of the limitless opportunities Wichita State students enjoy. Here in Wichita, your dreams are possible. Wichita State students are connected to a community where they can reach their full potential. They can work alongside professionals in internships and paid applied learning experiences on and off campus. I'd like to invite more people to join Shocker Nation and choose Wichita to live, work, and raise a family. Thanks for visiting us, Alex. Back to you.
Thank you, Mayor Wu. We can tell that you're proud.
All right, I'm not going to make you sit through him, but his name is Alex Boylan. He's kind of the celebrity host of all of the various segments that we have. He actually came to Wichita and Wichita State to film that. And so it was fun to have him on campus. You may recognize him. He was the winner of Survivor Series Season 2. So he actually kind of got his start in TV, and then he moved on to other things and created this whole TV show. So that being said, other things that are exciting and new at Wichita State, or something we want to make sure we connected you with, is in terms of our profile and who we are, we have an active student base of 17,700 students, which was the largest enrollment in the university's 129-year history this past fall. We are NCAA Division I. We are the Shockers, and we had a big win this past weekend against Memphis, a top 15 team in men's basketball, and many of us had a great time at that particular game. Students, by the way, get to attend all of our home athletic competitions for free. So that does include all of our home NCAA basketball games, softball, basketball, I mentioned, and then baseball, volleyball, all the other sports as well. So you can see a little bit more about some of the organizations. We have full range of intramurals, more than 800 annual events on campus. We also have something called the Shocker Support Locker, which allows our students to go in multiple times through the course of the semester, get free food, personal hygiene items, some school supplies, and even some clothing is available for students. So it's something we're really proud to offer. In terms of our average class size, our student or faculty to student ratio is 19-1, so roughly 19 students per class. But even more accurately, 90% of our classes have fewer than 50 students. So I think you'll find, for those of you coming to us straight from high school, some of our classes may be a little bit bigger than you're used to, but for the most part, you're certainly not going to have classes with hundreds of people. We have very few classes that go over a couple of hundred students at a time. So that's a little bit about some of our data and stats that back up our student life, but I actually have a quick video that showcases the first 2 weeks of student life at Wichita State. It's part of our Welcome Fest series, so I'll just share that with you. All right, that was our Welcome Fest, first 2 weeks of campus life. So we are a campus on the move. We have so much going on at Wichita State. We're really proud of it. So of course, you're going to hear a little bit about it tonight. One of the first things that I wanted to convey is that we just opened up this past fall semester our brand new Shocker Success Center. If you're familiar with campus, it's actually located really centrally, right next to our student center. So what that means is we've purposefully put this new building in place right next to our high traffic area in between our library and our student center, because we actually want students to walk by there every single day. We have put $17 million into this building, and you see the list of services that are located within this building. And obviously you're seeing some pictures of the space as well. It includes our one-stop team, and you're going to actually hear from Kylie and the one-stop team here shortly, the Shocker Support Locker that I mentioned, full range of tutoring services, our Office of Student Success, many other services. And these are all services designed to help our students be successful. What's important to note, you see a little snapshot of campus on the lower right corner there. All of these services have existed for years, but everything in yellow is where these particular services used to be. So we actually had them spread out all over our 330-acre campus as recently as a year ago. Well, just this fall, we were able to open up this brand new building, which is located where the red dot is in the center of the map there. So we moved all of these yellow dots, if you will, into that red dot where all of our students are able to access these services in one particular space. Obviously, many of you are from either Northeast Kansas, the greater Kansas City area. Some of you are from the Missouri side. We want to make sure you know that all of you should be eligible for in-state tuition rates. Again, really just depending upon where you live. Certainly, if you're from Kansas and a Kansas resident, you get in-state rates, but we actually extend those in-state tuition rates to students from the greater KC metro area. I know we may have some folks from other places in Missouri, like St. Louis, on here tonight. So know that you're included in that as well. So you can see what are 30, so in terms of a full-time credit hour load, about 30 hours over the course of the year. What that cost is about $10,000 or so for the year. So that's 15 hours in the fall, 15 hours in the spring. So this is just tuition and fees, and it's the required fee. So that includes the things that you see listed here at the latter part of the slide, including tickets for athletics events, fine arts events, memberships for Go Create, which is a makerspace on campus. We have a beautiful YMCA. You can get a city bus pass and LinkedIn learning courses. If our president was able to join us tonight, I know he would really stress the importance of value. He is really dedicated to making sure our students have great return on their investment. We know college is expensive. We certainly acknowledge that. So our prize point, I think, will demonstrate to you that our focus is really on value. You can see how our costs compare to that of other institutions in the region. So something that we've really focused on over the last several years. I have a quick video because I want to make sure you understand and know what Wichita State's niche is if you haven't heard this already. So this is a video about our applied learning experiences and internships.
Mitch has already built an impressive resume through Wichita State's applied learning model, which is a driving force at Wichita State. Applied learning includes paid internships, research, clinical rotations, and more. Each student is guaranteed real-world experience in their field before they graduate, enabling them to make immediate and meaningful contributions to their employers. Tell us all about it, Mitch.
Thanks, Alex. Hey, everyone. Growing up, my mom said that she knew that I would be an engineer. I was mechanically inclined, always taking things apart to see how they worked, and I was a problem solver. I also wanted to be a doctor, and it wasn't until I toured Wichita State that I figured I could be both a doctor and an engineer. The College of Engineering and the partnerships on campus are unparalleled. I never imagined I'd get an opportunity to learn in such a cool environment. I've worked with many companies on campus, including Go Create and WSU's National Institute for Aviation Research. Each internship has given me amazing opportunities to engage with the community, work with cutting-edge equipment and tools, and engage with peers and professionals in the field. I also get to work with advanced technology like huge drones, autonomous robots, and even a robot coffee barista. At Wichita State, located in Kansas's largest city, students can leverage more than 500 university partnerships and an extensive network to help build their resumes through applied learning and research opportunities. Even beyond Wichita, students intern all over the country at places like NASA, Apple, Amazon, with professional athletic organizations, political and government officials in DC, and more. Wichita State has helped me form lifelong connections with peers and business professionals while training on innovative technologies and programs to prepare for my career. Always ask questions, pursue what interests you, and ensure you're in an environment where those around you are helping you reach your full potential. Back to you, Alex.
All right, so that's our focus. Last year, our students earned more than $30 million in internships and on-campus positions. So it's something that we continually focus on. To drive that point home further, I want to make sure we've talked about the Innovation Campus with you before. So the Innovation Campus, in case you're familiar with Wichita State, you may know that this is roughly kind of a footprint of our 330-acre campus, particularly if I stretch this map out. Well, this 120 or so acres that you're seeing in this illustration was actually a golf course as recently as 10 years ago. So our then president made a really courageous decision, has upset a lot of golfers and closed the 18-hole golf course. But in its place, we have sprung up all the buildings that you see in green and yellow. Those are all finished, done, open, and students and others can enjoy those buildings. Anything in white is still under construction right now. And then anything that's kind of in this brown color is kind of future consideration of buildings and projects we're working on. But what we've done in the majority of these spaces is we have moved in companies, organizations, government agencies, because we want them to be really close to our students. We want them to have facilities on our campus where they are bringing their full-time professionals to us at Wichita State every single day. And then in order for them to have that space, they have to hire our students for internship opportunities. So one of the first examples that we had of this is the building that's marked with number 22. That's Airbus. It's the screen building here, if you could see my cursor. So Airbus was really one of our first Innovation Campus tenants several years ago. So they actually had an operation in downtown Wichita. They had roughly 300 professionals, business and engineering professionals working in downtown Wichita in a separate space. Well, they actually closed that particular facility and moved into a brand new building on our campus. So every day, those 300 plus professionals are working on our campus. And therefore, our students are literally going from a classroom experience over here on the left side of the map that's kind of cut off over to an internship experience in this building. And that's just one example. You can see lots of businesses and organizations, government agencies that are located on our campus. So that's what all of these logos represent. Have a fun hype video, as we call it, or a sizzle reel that showcases some of these new Innovation Campus buildings and partners we have. All right, so that is our Innovation Campus. So contained in that space that you just saw there is that brand new YMCA. So here's a few interior shots that you can see. Again, our students get access to that particular facility at no extra charge. It's just kind of baked into the cost of being a student. And it's not just that particular YMCA here in our greater Wichita community. We actually have 11 YMCAs in our greater Wichita community. They all feature different things, and they're honestly all considered first class. YMCA professionals from all over the country descend upon Wichita, Kansas to see what our YMCA facilities look like because they're just so highly regarded in the YMCA circuit. Aside from that, we also have a brand new business school building. It's an awesome building, $65 million project. It's just a few years old at this point, and our business majors have the ability to use that every single day as part of their experience. We also just did a $5 million renovation on our Marcus Welcome Center, which includes the Office of Admissions, but also includes our Shocker Career Accelerator. We were really intentional with this. It's something that our president and I talked about several years ago. He wanted to make sure that prospective students learned about all of our opportunities for students to have a return on investment in terms of internships, post-college job placements, connecting with employers. So he wanted to make sure that during our campus visit experience, they actually got the opportunity to meet with our Shocker Career Accelerator team. That's the team that's helping our students with LinkedIn profiles, planning career fairs, meeting with employers on a regular basis. So he moved them into the Welcome Center. We just finished this expansion. It's a really nice facility for our students to enjoy coming together with employers. We also have something that's not on our main campus. It's about 15 minutes away from our main campus called Shocker Studios. And so that particular facility houses many different fine arts programs, including filmmaking, game design, animation, audio production, acting for the digital arts, a few others. But the newest tech that's available in there right now is something that a company called Synthetic Scenes located intentionally in this facility, where you can see in the background there of these two photos, this LED volume wall. That's kind of what it's called. Well, this is the particular technology that's used in Hollywood these days for shows like The Batman, The Joker, House of Dragon, if you're familiar with any of those, where essentially the students or whoever is doing the filming can utilize that LED volume wall that has this high definition visual, and it can actually move and manipulate with the way the actors are going. So this is kind of the upgrade from the green screen technology that at least some of us parents are used to, where if you watch the weather forecast, for example, and I'm sure you've been watching it a lot recently, you probably see a weather forecaster cranking away on a green screen. Well, this is kind of the next generation of that, where really the pictures are coming in behind them. So we're really the only place in Kansas that has something of this scale. And because it's a real company that put this in our space, they are bringing real projects to our campus, or to this particular campus, where our students are getting to work on them on a regular basis. So it's a really exciting development for those of you who are interested in a career or area like that. I think one of my last things before I kind of start to pass on to the next presenter is want to make sure we spend a little bit of time talking about our new downtown medical center. So for those of you who are thinking about some of our health professions majors, this is really for you. Our projected completion date for this is fall 2026 late, might be early 2027, just depending on some construction delays. But that being said, what we're doing in this space is investing more than $300 million. It's almost 500,000 square feet. And we expect that by the time we are rounding into our first or second year of this space, we're going to see more than 3,000 students in different medical programs. That includes our nursing program, physical therapy, physician assistant, a few others. And the University of Kansas actually has a medical center here in Wichita where they do physician training and pharmacy training. So we're actually working together to open up this brand new space for our students, where essentially, if our president was here, he would talk to you about his professional and educational background. He's actually a physician assistant by training. He was trained in the Houston Medical Complex. And when he talks about this, he talks about the importance of merging all of these programs into one shared space. And that's important because when we train in the same space, we improve patient outcomes. So if you think about it, if you or I go to the hospital, we're going to get treated by a doctor, a physical therapist, potentially a nurse, several people working together to treat us in concert for the best outcome. So for us to have those best outcomes, we have to train them in the same place. So it's really an exciting development for us. We think it's going to be transformational for South Central Kansas. You don't even have to take our word for it. We recently, just last week, actually announced a $2.5 million gift from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas. Their president was on our campus to make the announcement about the gift. And this is a direct quote of what he said. This is a vote for optimism for the region, for Wichita State, for Wichita, Kansas, and what we can be in healthcare. The very specific gift that they gave is actually going to build out the clinical space for our students to actually be seeing patients in this building. So it's really exciting. You can see some other renderings of what the space will look like. So if you're thinking about health professions, this is really the building that you're going to be able to venture into by the time you're into some of those upper level classes as a junior or senior, or even graduate school if you're looking at some of those graduate programs. So moving on, last project I think I just want to mention is this University Stadium project. It's something that if you have spent time on our campus recently, you probably noticed a few cranes as we're trying to make sure this is getting ready for us to expand our track, expand our field. We're going to be adding NCAA Division I women's soccer to our mix of sports. And it's also the home of the annual state track field for high school students, state track meet for high school students. So I suspect some of you have been there before to compete in that, but our plan is to do this in phases because honestly, we want to continue to host state track every single year. So if you join us this spring for state track, and good luck, and I hope that you're able to be there, what you will see is that we've essentially been able to build out the first 1.5 phases where we tear down part of our stadium and rebuild a side there. And then the next phase is going to be expanding the track and the field. And then the final phase will be expanding the east side, or excuse me, the west side stands that are located in this picture. So just something fun and on the horizon for those of you who are interested in that. So next steps, you're probably wondering, when is this guy going to shut up and when are you going to tell me what I need to do to be enrolled here? So you can kind of see the next steps here. Certainly you're welcome to take a picture of this with your phone. And again, we're going to send this to you as a follow-up later. And then if you see on the bottom here, the 2 websites, those are also helpful links. And I think our staff can probably pop those into the chat just to make sure you have them for later. But in short, you need to make sure if you have decided on Wichita State, these are some of the next steps that you need to take, including setting up your Wichita State account if you haven't already done that. If you plan to submit the FAFSA, make sure you do that by April 1st. We highly encourage that. If you haven't already, make sure you spend some time on our Scholarship Universe website, the third item listed there, where you create a profile and we can try to match you against any Wichita State and other regional and national scholarships. Housing is starting to see a high rate of applications. So I would encourage you to make sure you complete that. We have a housing professional on campus, or excuse me, on our Zoom tonight. So they will be joining us shortly. ZME is a great way to meet other future shockers and also potentially meet roommates. I know many current Wichita State students met their roommates on ZME. So it's just an app that's available both on Droid and Apple phones, where it's available through the respective stores where you can just download. It's a free download, and then you can just join it for free. And you can indicate that essentially you've been admitted to Wichita State, and you can get access to the community through there. One other thing that I've noticed is really popular is this particular Instagram account that you can see there. And to be really honest, this is not organized by Wichita State. It's kind of organic. And I've seen a lot of posts through there. I've seen a few hundred students post on there. So if you're on Instagram, which I suspect most of you are, you might consider checking out that particular one, Wichita State 2029, so that you might be able to see some other future classmates in there. So there's some other dates coming up, but we actually have presenters that will cover some of these, and I cover some of them a little bit later. So I'm going to skip forward and ask that Janet from our financial aid team visit with you about what you need to know as it comes to financial aid. So Janet, it is all yours.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for having us here. So I'll try to move along as fast as I can. I know you've probably been talking quite a bit about financial aid, so we're here to help you with that process, make it as easy as possible. Let's go to next. We have a large amount of students that use financial aid, and our resources are here to help you. 70% of students use financial aid, and we're meeting students where they are to help them unlock some of those awards that they could use to pay for their school. Scholarships and grants. Some of you may be working on Scholarship Universe right now. Keep working at it, especially with these snow days. You have lots and lots of times, lots of additional time to compete for more scholarships. That Scholarship Universe closes March 1st. So if you're not on that platform, take a look at it. We also have students that are employed on campus through work study. That's if you qualify after you fill out the FAFSA. And the neat thing about work study is you don't have to drive anywhere. You can fit it around with your classes, and your employer is very flexible, like if you have a test coming up and so on. So work study is a great way to get kind of into the flow of school. And then also last we're going to mention is our student and parent loans. We would like to take advantage of scholarships and grants, work study first, and then obviously student loans and parent loans sometimes are part of that package of how you're going to get across the finish line. So we will talk about that a little bit more. I know as you start talking, some of you may have some older siblings that have already gone to college, so you kind of know what to expect. But especially if you're the oldest child in your family, this is the time to start having some conversations while you're filling out the FAFSA. We can help you fill out the FAFSA. We can do a Zoom call with you, or we can email, phone, anything to help you get that complete. So make sure we'll have a slide here near the end of how you can contact us. Okay, April 1st, like Bobby mentioned, is a big important date with us. It's have your FAFSA complete. Actually, I would go ahead and do it as soon as possible this month. So that if there's any delays, you have that taken care of. Make sure your scholarships are completed by March 1st. That's Scholarship Universe. Scholarship Universe also has many scholarships outside of Wichita State available on there, like Target or Dr. Pepper. So even though the March 1st date for Wichita State closes, keep looking at that and taking advantage of that. Later in June, you may start to hear about the results of some of those scholarships. So you won't hear something right away with that. Later in the summer, we can work with you and talk to you about what grants, and in mid-July, you'll be able to see what your charges will be because you'll be enrolled, and then you can see what your awards are. Like I mentioned earlier, that I like that slide Bobby had earlier about meeting what deadlines. I think you all took a picture of it. Keep that on your refrigerator. And then also we have an Instagram that would be great for students and parents to look at because it kind of warns you, hey, this is coming up. Please prepare for this. So it's a fun way to stay connected. Your conversations about money will happen often, especially the first year as you kind of get into the flow of it. It's not something that you do once a year. With my own kids, it was probably every 2 months we're saying, hey, what are we going to do about this? And so on. Also, while you're still living at home, think of scholarships that might be available in your hometown, like maybe your bank or your church. Maybe your parents are in a teachers union. I know our teachers union had a scholarship, or your high school, maybe the class of 75 has a scholarship, and those are sometimes the easiest awards to win. So plan ahead for that. We're going to talk about some of the cost, but some of you seniors right now, you're working already. So as you're having these conversations about money, make a plan of how much of each paycheck could I save, and use that for books or buy a new laptop before I come to Wichita in August, or how many hours could I work over the summer and save that money. So have those talks throughout the year. Next. Okay, this is a good picture for us, and this is our Instagram account also that you might want to follow. It'll be a good resource for you. And like I mentioned, you can contact us. We are available for a Zoom appointment, in person, or phone. So we can have a representative from our office, the student, and the parent on the same phone call. So I hope you take advantage of that and let me know. I'll be in a breakout room at the end of this, and you can ask me any more individual questions later. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Janet, for joining us. I do appreciate it. Next up is my friend Kylie from our One Stop Student Services and First Year Advising team. She's going to visit with you about moving forward in the enrollment process.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening. I do want to preface before I kind of dive into information is if we have any transfer students that are on the Zoom today, this particular process that I'm going to walk through won't necessarily apply to you. You will be, once obviously fully admitted and you're ready to rock and roll, you'll be required to meet with the college advisors, not the first year advisors. So you'll be able to set up what we call your Shocker Connection advising appointment to meet with an advisor within the college specifically to go ahead and get registered in classes. So again, transfer students that are on the Zoom, this particular process won't apply. So I just want to preface that before I get started. So again, my name is Kylie Johnson. I am the assistant director in the One Stop Student Services and also serve as the lead first year advisor. So our office advises all first time in college freshmen. So students coming to us straight from high school to college. I do like to, before I dive in, to kind of explain why you're meeting with a first year advisor versus a college. Some of you may have been on a campus visit and connected with the college advising centers to kind of go through their programs. But the reason why is our office was initially created, and we're really in the name. We are one stop, one place where students can go to get multiple questions answered about multiple areas across campus. So all of my advisors are trained in not only admissions, advising, financial aid, records, registration, student account, billing, more of kind of the business side of college, which a lot of times you don't get taught that in high school. So again, we are also available for all students across campus, but in terms of advising specifically, it is just first time in college freshman students. So that's why you're meeting with a first year advisor, because the idea is we really want you to get a solid foundation within that first year to really understand all of the other outside academics of what it means to be a college student and a Wichita State student, with the hope that once you transition to the college advising centers sophomore year on, you again have that solid foundation. So that's, again, I just want to preface our office in general. So I do want to walk through the enrollment process for first time in college freshmen. And it begins March 1. You all get priority enrollment before registration opens for anybody else on campus. You guys get that priority enrollment. So this starts March 1st. So what really gets the ball rolling in terms of the process is RSVPing for orientation. So you probably got some communication, or will be receiving communication about RSVPing for orientation. You'll select your orientation date throughout the summer. Tied to that orientation will be what we call your pre-enrollment questionnaire. And what that questionnaire is it's a very detailed questionnaire. It should, in honest, take about students 20 to 30 minutes to fill out. So I will say that if you are RSVPing for orientation and completing the enrollment survey, please make sure you have plenty of time. It's not a 10, 15-minute type of survey. And what that is that survey is really asking a lot of very specific questions. So have you taken college courses in high school? If so, for college credit, where did you take them? What courses did you take? What grades did you get? Class preferences, days of the week, time frames. I mean, again, it should take you about 30 minutes to fill out. And then in addition to that, we may, depending upon your major, ask you some additional major specific questions. So for example, we ask all engineering majors, what is your comfort level in math, and what is the math that you previously taken in high school? And you self-report that on that enrollment questionnaire. If you are pre-nursing or one of our health professions majors, we're asking if you have any licensures or things that you've previously completed prior to starting at Wichita State. So again, this should take you about 20 to 30 minutes to complete. Most students, well, not, I won't say most, but a lot of students have, again, completed college coursework while in high school. I would say the most important thing I take away from this evening and speaking with all of you is once you RSVP for orientation and complete that pre-enrollment questionnaire, the most important thing you can do is check your Shocker email. Some of you, we also email our communication to your preferred email that's on file with us. However, if you have a high school email listed as your preferred email, I encourage you to potentially look at changing that or updating that with admissions, or because the reason is a lot of times those high school emails get deactivated in May, and sometimes students aren't necessarily checking their Shocker email. So then we get kind of in a limbo of we're trying to reach out, but we're not hearing anything back from students. So that's just something I would preface is if you have a high school email on file as your preferred email, potentially looking at updating that. But the most important thing I would say is checking that Shocker email, because what'll happen is I would say 9.99 times out of 10, my first year advisors are going to need some sort of documentation, whether that's an unofficial college transcript, an unofficial ACT score, some sort of document prior to us being able to kind of look at what that potential fall schedule will look like. And so again, that communication is going to go to the Shocker email and the preferred. So if you've taken college classes, also you will be prompted to send us unofficial copies to our Wichita.edu email. And again, that'll all be information that will be in the pre-enrollment questionnaire. So again, take your time, look through and read through everything that is listed on there, because we're going to want those unofficial screenshots. Again, for our advising purposes, you will have to send official transcripts and ACT scores eventually, but for our advising purposes for that first semester, we just need unofficial copies of what you've completed up until that point. So again, you will have instructions on the pre-enrollment on where to send those. So that, again, the most important thing is my first year advisor is going to reach out to you if there's any additional documentation and how they want that information to be received. And the reason why we request that is because once we have everything that we are requesting from the student, Based off your degree requirements and what you've completed up until that point, we actually build a schedule for you. So we know in the past, a lot of colleges, you physically had to come to campus to get registered in classes. This process does not require you to do that, which is huge for students who live far away or out-of-state students. Is you don't have to wait to get a finalized schedule before you get here in August. We can get that firmed up and finalized as soon as we have all the documents that we need. So again, there's an ease. We know there's a bunch going on as you guys dive into that last semester of your senior year, prom, graduation. So again, if we can get all the documents that we have right out of the gate, we can get that schedule finalized, you are good to go, and we'll see you at orientation. But what happens is once an initial schedule is built, you're going to get an email. And where do we think that email is going to go? Is that shocker email. It's going to tell you a schedule has been built. Please go out with instructions to your MyWSU portal to view that initial schedule. It will have all of your courses, your days of the week, timeframes, everything. From there, students have the option to accept it. They click a button, click accept, they're registered, good to go. And again, we'll see you at orientation. Or there's a second button where students can request changes and tell us what potential changes they would like to make to that schedule. It goes to your assigned first year advisor. They contact you to kind of work out those additional schedule adjustments that you prefer to do. So we really kind of, again, this is a lot of times virtual. However, students do have the opportunity. There's a question on that pre-enrollment questionnaire that asks, would you like to speak with your first year advisor before we build that initial schedule? We ask if you'd like to be contacted either by email or by phone. And then obviously the first year advisor will reach out to you to answer any questions before we get that process going. So that is an option. I will say once an initial schedule is built, this is key because students, once you are registered, you only have 10 business days to either accept that schedule or decline it or request changes. If that 10 days, business days passes, you will be dropped from that initial schedule and we would have to start the process over again. So just to get a reminder, check that shocker email because that's where all this information is going to go. So I will also be kind of in a breakout room after for any individual questions. I would just say, again, the biggest thing, once you RSVP for orientation and complete that enrollment questionnaire, again, those are tied together. The most important thing to do is make sure you're checking that shocker email. There we go. And I do just want to show you, so these are all of our first year advisors here in the One-Stop Student Services. So we have Kelsey Abendroth for our College of Applied Studies, Michelle Turnez, who is our Barton School of Business. We do an alpha split by last name for engineering. So Constantine will do last names A through L. Monica will do M through Z. Same alpha split for our liberal arts and sciences majors. So you have Elliot Ortega, A through L, and Kendra Brooks, M through Z. So I am listed there. I'm currently assisting health professions majors as well as fine arts. We just hired Ellen, who will be fully probably up and running, I would say, probably the first part of April, mid-April. So in the meantime, I'm assisting both health professions majors and fine arts majors. But the good news is our health professions advisor has been hired with a start date of March 3rd. So we're very excited to get her in and onboarded as well. So I am the primary contact for both health professions and fine arts, but we will definitely get you connected once our new advisors are up and fully trained. So I just wanted to be able to have folks put faces to names. And I just wanted to put our contact information in here. Like Bobby said, the new Shocker Success Center, we are loving being able to be in a building with all of the student support services that we utilize as a first year advisors is amazing. So we are located on the Shocker Success Center on the first floor. And so again, we're so excited about the new space. It's been amazing to have students coming in and out. But that is primarily our contact information, our email, that onestop@wichita.edu. As well as our website. So yeah, we're excited you guys are, well, hopefully all join Shocker Nation. I'm an alumni and never left because I'm also employed. So it's a great place to be. And I'll be, again, in breakout rooms for any further questions.
All right. We try to get rid of Kylie. We just haven't figured out how. No, I'm just teasing you, Kylie. Kylie used to work on the admissions team, and then she went on to other areas. So she's really an awesome professional. She and her team will do a great job taking care of all of our first year students. And as Kylie mentioned, I'm glad you did mention that. But amongst our one stop, our housing professional that you'll meet in just a second, and financial aid team, we're going to put them each in separate breakout rooms that will give all of you an opportunity to ask questions in at least a smaller setting. Because of the volume of people we have on this call tonight, we're not able to do one-on-ones, but you'll have the option to kind of rotate around to different rooms and meet with those respective professionals from those areas if you do have specific questions you want to ask on the tail end of this presentation. All right, next up, I believe, is my friend Faith from Housing and Residence Life. She will visit with you, obviously, about the dorm options on campus. Faith, it's all yours.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm Faith Cuss. I am our outreach and communications assistant for Housing and Residence Life. And you're probably wondering, you want to go to the next slide, why you should, or housing at a glance. So we have over 1,400 residents living with us in 3 unique communities. We have the Shocker Hall, we have the flats and the suites. That's 1,400 residents, which includes your RAs, your residence life coordinators, and everyone else. And then 40 student staff members living on floors throughout the building. And then 30 full-time staff members like myself and everybody else who works behind the scenes. They're probably wondering why you should live on campus. There's multiple reasons why you want to live on campus. Academic performance, which also ties into our living learning communities, which I will talk about here in a minute, but then convenience, because you're right on campus, you don't have to walk too far. Time management also ties into convenience. Social and personal development, because you're around people who are the same age as you, you're branching out, you're finally out of the house. A diverse community, you're meeting people from different cultures, different ethnicities, different things like that. And then safety and security, because we have 24-hour surveillance, people are always at the front desk, things like that. And then support as well from your RAs and your fellow students and everyone else. So where Shockers live, so Shocker Hall, that's our first year students only, so freshmen. We have 800 bed spaces. Each room is furnished with a bed, a desk, a chair, and a dresser. 1 or 2 bathrooms per suite, so it's not like what you're used to, adults are used to probably when they went to college. We don't have communal restrooms. Everybody has their own bathroom within their dorm. And then we have community laundry rooms, which are free, so they're located on every floor. And then we have the dining hall and the coffee shop, which are attached to Shocker Hall, which is really nice. So you don't have to walk too far. You do have to go outside, but you're not too far. And then learning communities are all located in Shocker Hall, in which living learning communities are a very cool thing. So these are our 2 main floor plans. These are what you will see most commonly, but we do have several others that we offer as well. So this is just our standard double 2 bed where there's technically like 4 people in the room, but then there's 2 people on each side, and then you will share a restroom, like a bathroom and a shower, but then everybody will have their own sink and their own closet, and once again, your own desk, your own chair, and your own dresser. And then the single 4-bed suite is really nice because everybody has their own bedroom, which locks and you're the only one that can enter it, but you all share the same entrance. And then there's 2 restrooms and then 2 vanities as well. So where Shockers live, so the suites, once again, is first year students only. This is a little bit more of a more spacious layout than Shocker Hall. You do get a little bit of a kitchenette, so you get like a little hot plate and like a mini fridge, and then 220 bed spaces and 2 bedroom suites with private rooms. So everybody gets their own bedroom. And then beds are full size, not twin size, and you're located next to the flats, which are for upperclassmen. And then once again, front desks are open 24/7. And then where Shockers live, the flats I won't touch on for too long because it is upperclassmen only. It's a little bit more of an apartment style living. You do get a full kitchen and everything. And this one does have a clubhouse, recreation, and underground and surface parking available. Living learning communities I've talked about obviously already so a little bit so far, but they're really kind of cool. So living learning communities, people who join living learning communities tend to graduate at a higher rate and a higher GPA. So this is something that you can enter. It's $30 $30 for the entire academic year, but broken down $15 per semester in case you don't want to entertain it for the entire year. But you will be living on the same floor as people within your department or college so that there's mentorship. You can study together. Your RA on that floor is also a part of that department. So then you can work together there as well. And there's different ones. You have your business, your engineering, and our newest one is our Latin. So we do like to offer different like ethnicities and things like that. So if you're interested in living with people within the same community as you, that's definitely a benefit. And then you're obviously connecting with other students in similar interests and working with community members, attend exclusive events for LLCs and different things like that. So where Shockers eat. So the Shocker Dining Hall, like I said, is attached to Shocker Hall. There is unlimited meal plans, so it's all you can eat. There's different stops within the place, and you could also, but then we also offer dining dollars, which is something that you can use at the student center that has the Starbucks, the Panda Express, the Freddy's, and the Chick-fil-A. And then you can also go to the Ground House, which is like a coffee shop, smoothie bar. They offer basic grab and go items and meds, and then you can go to the Shocker Lanes and Grills, which is like a bowling alley, and they have pool tables. It's kind of a nice hangout, and they have like pizzas and different stuff like that. And then the Cargill Cafe at Woolsey Hall is our newest one. It's really nice. It's just like a small cafe that also offers coffees and things. What do Shockers do? So there's different things that Shockers do. There's residence hall wide events, like there's a karaoke night. There'll be movie nights that sometimes your RAs pay on. Floor events, like I said, your RAs sometimes put on movie nights, different events that you can all go out and do things together. And then you have your LLCs where you're living with people within their same department. Shocker Athletics, you can draw intramural sports, and then student organizations that also get you being with part of the campus community. And then the application process. So it is live currently. And if you apply today, $75 application fee and a $20 prepayment are required to go throughout the selection. And then the February 15th, our personal profiles just open, which where you can go in and kind of select like, yes, I'm a morning person. No, I'm not a night person. You can say yes or no to different things. So that if you don't have a roommate, you can find other people who are like of similar interest to you. And then also, like Bobby has mentioned before, Zeme is also a really great way to meet people if you don't have a roommate. And then room selection begins in April. So you should always watch out for your email because you do get put into little pods where you can go and select your room because first comes first served. So if you really want to get like your own bedroom and like a 4-person suite or something, which is our most popular, should definitely apply as soon as possible. And then, yes, if you have any questions, I'll be in my own breakout room like everybody else has said. And then you can always message me within the emailing and things like that.
All right. Thanks, Faith. All right. Next up, we have several of our student ambassadors joining us. So these are all current Wichita State students, and they have agreed to dedicate a portion of their night. We had a inclement weather day, so which merely meant classes went remote for those students. So they are going to join us hopefully from the comfort of their dorm or home, wherever it is they live. So they are here to really kind of answer questions that you may have about the Wichita State experience. I'm going to ask them to show their videos so you can get to see who they are. And I may even stop sharing if I can orchestrate all this here at once. But I see a few of them starting to show. So I don't know that I'll catch everyone because we have a few others on here, but I do see my friend Ellie, and then maybe Ellie, you can pass to, or it's okay. I see you all. So Ellie, if you don't mind starting by introducing yourself, tell us your name, your major, your hometown, and maybe a fun fact of your choice about Ellie. All right, you're up, Ellie.
Hi, like Bobby said, my name's Ellie. I am in the business school studying economics and marketing. I am from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. And a little fun fact is that I'm getting over the flu, so forgive me if my voice is a little raspy.
Oh no, Ellie, I'm sorry. I see Samir's on here. My friend Samir, you're up.
Hello, everybody. My name is Samir Barraza. I am from Colby, Kansas. I am in the School of Engineering. I'm a computer science major and minoring in entrepreneurship, cybersecurity, and maybe university honors. I don't know. I always mix them up. But fun fact about me is that I am living on one of the LLCs, the business one. So
Great. Thanks, Samir. I like your haircut too. I think I saw it a couple of days ago. It looks sharp. Grace, you're up.
Hi everyone, my name is Grace. I'm a sophomore at Wichita State. I'm from Wichita originally. I'm studying biology on the pre-med path. A fun fact about me is that I have 2 dogs.
Very nice, Grace. All right. Braylee, I think I see you somewhere.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Braylee. I'm a freshman here at WSU. I'm studying biological sciences in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. A fun fact about me, I'm actually doing undergraduate research right now as a freshman, so that's really cool. But yeah.
Great. Thank you. Who have I missed here? Kaylin, did I get you?
I'm here. My name is Kaylin Schroeder. I'm a freshman here at Wichita State. I'm studying social work, and which is part of the Liberal Arts and Sciences College. And a fun fact about me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm from Overland Park, Kansas. And a fun fact about me is I really like playing games.
All right. Kaylin, what was your high school? Remind us.
I went to Shawnee Mission South.
All right. I don't know if we have other Shawnee Mission South students out there that they'd like to hear a familiar face or voice, I guess. All right. Did I catch all of our student ambassadors? I think I did. Okay, I think I did. All right. So guests and students joining us from the Kansas City area, we'd love to see questions from you all. If you have any about the Wichita State experience, these are students who are just volunteering their time. They're just that passionate about their experiences at Wichita State and enjoying their time that they have agreed to be on here to answer any questions you may have. You can really ask them about anything from what to pack for dorm life to what's the transition like from high school classes to college classes, anything you'd like. So I see, I think it's Micaiah, sorry if I've said your name wrong, has a question already. How would you describe Greek life and other social events on campus? Thank you for that question, by the way. Who wants to take that one?
I guess since I am involved in Greek life, I can kind of answer this question. So I think Wichita State does great with Greek life. It's not a super intimidating environment. There's a lot of different options to pick from, and so that's great. But it's not as stressful as maybe some of like the bigger universities. But I think there's a lot of good options. Like you can go through primary recruitment, or there's other ways to go through recruitment. But it's something that I got involved in, and I do enjoy it.
Great, thank you, Grace. The other thing that I might just add to, I think Grace's explanation is great, but our chapters are not large in terms of scale. I think, and Grace, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think our chapters might be anywhere from between 30 and 100 students, really just truly depending on which chapter you join, which one's the right fit for you. All of them are tied to a specific cause. And it varies, of course, depending on the organization. But that's really the focus of their efforts, to be associated with those causes, fundraise for them, and then also, of course, just socializing and getting to meet new brothers and sisters and being able to do additional activities on campus. So it's not a large Greek community in terms of thousands of people where people are turned away or anything like that. I think it's a really robust and strong Greek community that focuses on unity, supporting each other, regardless of folks being in different chapters. In my history, and I've been around Wichita State for 25 years or so, you actually see students from different chapters supporting each other's nonprofit events or fundraising events because they really thrive on supporting one another in our Greek community. All right, so next up, trying to make sure I have, and Dana, thank you, added a little more context to our Greek question there. So Lexis is asking, how do you become a student ambassador? Are there any requirements? Does anybody in particular want to grab that one? I'm happy to answer it too.
Yeah. So Student Ambassador Society, you get nominated anonymously, or you can nominate yourself, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes.
And then once you get nominated, you fill out your little application, and then you do an interview with folks over on our side of the world, and then you get results. When do the results come out? Like June?
Yeah, typically in May ish,
Yeah,
sometimes
May
early
or
June.
June. Yeah. And then we do training and all that fun stuff in August, and you get to meet everybody.
And beyond, in terms of really, it's open to any students who are interested in representing the university. In addition to events like this, the student ambassadors often get involved with activities with the president's office, with our university foundation. So it's just kind of a fun way to meet other Wichita State students and future students for that matter too, while also having some networking opportunities with some of our alumni and other university administrators. Next question, Ava asks, any recommendations for how to handle move-in day? Does anybody want to grab that one?
You got
Samir?
this one. Yes, yes. So yeah, coming in as a freshman, coming in from my town, it was really small. Colby, Kansas is a town of about 5,000 people. So the step up from small town over to a larger area like Wichita was really intimidating at first. But my biggest piece of advice is honestly, what worked best for me at least was to get here as soon as you possibly can in order to get all your stuff. Hopefully, if you need cars, you know, you have your parents help you, or if you're on your own vehicle, hopefully you'll be able to get everything on one go. But yeah, definitely get here as soon as possible instead of, you know, the day before classes start, because then not only will you miss out on events that happen during week 0, which is, I knew another question of, was in the comments about more activities. But yeah, you'll miss out on stuff like that. You'll miss out on meeting a bunch of new friends because again, everyone's in the same boat as you. Everyone's all scared. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, where do I go? What is there to do?" Everyone, again, it's all a collective experience. So don't be afraid to, you know, get the work done, show up early, and then make connections as soon as you can. So then you'll be going into your first year of college all sharp and ready.
Thanks, Samir. Next up, Emily asks, would you recommend finding a roommate beforehand or just let it be random? Not sure who wants to tackle that. Ellie, go ahead.
I can take it, yeah. So it's kind of whatever suits your fancy. Like my freshman year, I happened to find a good roommate who lived in Texas also, which was kind of a crazy luck of the draw moment for me. But this year, I have a random roommate. I was an RA, so I could have brought in someone I knew, but I just got paired with one of my residents instead, and she's fantastic. So I've had great results either way. It's not totally random though, because you'll go in for your housing application and you'll fill out a profile and you'll answer all these questions like how clean do you keep your room? How late do you stay up? Do you listen to music really loud? So it'll kind of narrow down your options, and then I'll give you a list of people that it matches you with based on your kind of living style. So then you email them and you say, hey, I'm so and so. Do you want to chat over coffee if you live close by, or do you want to email back and forth? So yeah, also like Dana mentioned in the comments there, Zemi also has a roommate finding feature. So there's lots of different ways to meet someone who you could be compatible with, whether that's someone you bring from home and you both go to Wichita, or you meet them through the housing website, or you meet them through Zemi. But I, as an RA, rarely have a case where roommates hate each other. Usually it's either, oh, we don't know each other, and then they're best friends, or they know each other coming in, and it works out from there.
Thanks, Ellie. All right, next up, Tiana asks, how does the school support students finding jobs and internships? Anybody want to take that one? I'm happy to jump in if you all. Braylee, I see you.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a few different ways I'd say. Personally, since I've come to campus, there have been many job fairs, and they will like I can't think of the name, but you'll get a lot of emails. They'll say like, hey, there's a job fair, and they'll tell you like in advance so you can plan it into your schedule. And you can go and talk to like community partners and other businesses where you can like have access to jobs related to your major and even just jobs to support you while you're going to school. And you can also get in contact with community partners for like volunteering, which is really good if you're trying to build up your resume. On top of that, like they've already mentioned, we have our like our career closet, our shocker closet. So if you need like clothes for an interview, you have that resource available to you. And I think I'm trying to,
I
but
think you did a nice job. I would just add to that, you really hit the nail on the head. But the Shocker Career Accelerator is the office that really manages some of those connections. They have also a job posting board called Shocker Central, where students can see jobs that are available, both on-campus positions, but also internships too. And when our employers work with us, they are coming to us sometimes and they're saying they need a marketing major or an accounting major. So we can actually filter and send direct messages to students who meet the criteria of what the companies are looking for. So there's a lot of back and forth with employers to really make sure they get connected very directly to students. And then I might just add one other thing. I don't know if Braylee, you had more to add, but I want to make sure I mention, and I'll cover this a little bit later too. And that is, we will be hosting a couple of jobs fairs coming up. One is in association with our event for admitted students in March. March 22nd is the admitted student event. It's a Saturday, but the day before, we're actually hosting job interviews for future students like you all. So that's Friday, the 21st of March. And that event is called WSU, WSYOU. And we're adding this year this day before experience where we're going to give future students an opportunity to interview with both on-campus and off-campus employers. It's not necessarily a guarantee of a job, but if you're one of the students who sign up for the event, and there's a capacity for the event, and I think we're about 20 to 30% full right now. And if you're a student who signs up and you get associated with the event, then you'll actually be guaranteed some job interviews for the fall semester. So it's a decent chance you may even know what those jobs look like or what job you have going into your fall semester. If that particular Friday doesn't work for you, it's no problem. If you're able to come to campus on WSU Day, which is again is Saturday, March 22nd, you are actually able to access a jobs fair where we have many on-campus employers there, and they're actually meeting with students, collecting resumes, and having engagement for future job opportunities in August when school starts. All right, I'm gonna make sure I try to keep this moving here. If I filled out the form for the Living Learning community, when do I find out if I got into one? I don't know if Faith is still on. I don't know if Faith can speak to that one. That one might be better for housing.
I was just
Go ahead.
looking into Danny's profile to see what I find out for him, and then if I can't, I will reach out to somebody to see where his application is at. For sure.
Okay, great. So maybe we'll put that answer in the chat or answer it via email after the fact. All right, let me find. So I got a lot of windows open here. Next question. Grayson asks, how does room selection work? Is there a particular order for it? Faith, do you want to tackle that one?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I was trying to
Sure.
read the.
No problem. How does room selection work? Is there a particular order for it?
Yeah, so like I said, applications open October 1st. So if you really feel strongly about a certain room type or want to live, like in the flats because they are a little bit more of a spacious thing and they do go really quickly, I would apply as soon as you can because people do get put into pools depending on when they started their application and how quickly they filled everything out. And so it's kind of like a first come, first serve type basis.
Great. Micaiah asked about kind of stepping away from housing. Micaiah asked about the LEAD program, which is a unique program Wichita State offers to help students journey to law school with the University of Kansas. Essentially, students do their first few years at Wichita State, and then they can transition to the University of Kansas Law School. So it's kind of like a 5-year program. And so you can learn more. Dana answered the question in the chat, and you can see that there. But it's a great program where many of our students have been successful. Some of these we've covered, so I'm kind of flipping through here. Can friends be in a suite together regardless of gender? Faith, I don't know if you heard that. Sorry, we're getting a lot of housing questions. Can friends be in a suite
No,
together?
you're okay. So there actually is an option within the application that you can do gender like equality rooming. So if you're okay with living with someone of an opposite gender, you just have to select that on the application, and then you will also see people who are okay with living with other people of other genders. So it's definitely an option. You don't have to select it if you don't want to, but when you go into the application, make sure that you select that you are willing to do that.
Okay, I see lots more questions about housing and are getting really specific. So what
Okay.
I might do is encourage people to go to the breakout room that Faith will be hosting here in just a little bit, where they can get some of those questions answered. There is one good one I think that might be good for everyone to hear. So Emily asks, I hope to be able to be an RA in the future, a resident assistant. Do you have any tips or benefits of what that looks like? I think that's a great question because everyone would enjoy, I'm sure, free housing. So Emily, Faith, can you talk a little bit to Emily's question?
I'm not
How
actually
do we?
familiar with being an RA.
Oh, Ellie,
I
Ellie
feel,
could actually.
yeah,
Sorry, Ellie,
Ellie is
you're
an
an
RA, so she should definitely take.
Yeah, being an RA has been a fantastic experience so far. Samir in our meeting here is actually one of my residents on my floor, so it's been kind of fun doing different road shows together and being like, look, here's one of them. Yeah, so the application process starts in late fall and rolls kind of into early spring semester. And it starts with a written application with 2 to 3 essay, like short answer questions, and then turn that in, and you have to go to an informational session, and then you wait on results for that, and then you move on to the next phase where you go to a social, and then you do a round of interviews. And then if you make it past that round, you meet one-on-one with some of our our professional staff, or our pro staff as we call them. And those are basically everyone above the RAs, like all of my bosses. I have like a million bosses. And so you meet with one of them to kind of gauge your eligibility for that. And then they'll either put you as an alternate or make you an RA at that point. But yeah, my biggest tips would just be it's the most cliche thing ever, but it's truly, truly, truly applicable here, is be yourself. Because they do select, everyone on our staff is selected based on how well we would work with other members of the staff and how well you would work with students. And you don't have to be like this crazy extroverted, I'm super creative, 10 out of 10 person to be a good RA. We've got all kinds of people on our staff, introverted and extroverts alike. Sorry. So yeah, my biggest tip is just to be yourself and show people you care, and just have a heart for providing a home for other people and creating community.
Great, thank you. There's a question about study abroad. Tiana's asking study abroad opportunities. How do students take advantage of them? I'm happy to answer that. Have any of you done study abroad? Don't think so. So I might just take.
So I
Oh,
do.
where are
I'm
you going,
familiar with
Ellie?
the
Go ahead.
process a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot. I'm through it. Um, but yeah, so you apply for study depending on your program. There's different deadlines for different programs, and you can. Dana's been setting up a lot of links in the chat. Is there any way you could send the deadlines for the different fall, summer, spring deadlines? If you could, that would be great, because I don't have access to that. But I'm studying abroad in Po, France this summer, so I applied and turned in my application in late fall, and I waited back on that, and then they tell you whether or not you're in the program you applied for, and then they allow you to apply for scholarships as well, which is a separate application. And they are not shy about handing out those study abroad scholarships. They want the Shockers to go out and explore and make those connections outside the US. So I'd highly recommend the experience. I'm really looking forward to it in the summer. But Bobby, if you have more to add on that, go for it.
Yeah, thanks. In terms of the volume of students that are doing this, I think typically more than 120 students are studying abroad throughout the course of the year. There's fall programs, there's spring programs, there's fall and spring, there's also summer opportunities, and they range. Sometimes they are like individual students going, sometimes it's a group study abroad experience. Other cases, it could be a faculty-led excursion for perhaps a brief or a period of time. And some are in English, some are in other languages. It really just kind of depends. We have multiple programs in collaborations and partnerships we have all over the world. So lots of different opportunities. I do think typically those 120 plus students end up at roughly 20 different countries around the world each year. Okay, I think we've covered a lot of the questions. I think there was a question about intramurals. I didn't necessarily see it, but maybe just to speak broadly about intramurals, is anybody involved in intramurals? I want to speak to that. Kaylin, I see your hand. Go ahead.
Okay, so I am going to play an intramural sport. I just signed up for one this spring. I'm gonna do intramural softball. But the process is super easy. You can form your own team. You can do co-ed. You can do just sign up for just a women's league, just a men's league. It kind of depends on what you want. I don't know exactly how many sports there are, but there's like esports. I know there's basketball, volleyball, softball. There's a whole bunch of different sports. Skill level does not matter. You just kind of sign up for them, get a team together, or you can sign up as a free agent and you'll be able to people will pull you onto their team and then you just kind of go out and have a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to it this spring.
Thanks, Kaylin. All right. I feel like I had another question. Where did it go? Again, I know there's a few more housing questions, but I want to save those for the housing room if we don't mind. So I am going to, I think I wanted to ask, is Kaylin our only student from Northeast Kansas? I think she is. Kaylin, so these students are for the most part from Northeast Kansas or Kansas City, Missouri. I know we have some students from Manhattan, Topeka, Lawrence area, but I think your journey is kind of representative of what they might be experiencing. So can you just give them maybe like 3 nuggets of advice of making that trip or what that experience has been like as someone from that area?
Yeah, for sure. So I am from Overland Park, so it's about 2.5 hour drive here to Wichita. And it's perfect. I'm far enough away from my family that I have my space, but I can go home pretty often whenever I need to, which is very nice. Let's see. I kind of decided on Wichita State. I loved the community. I loved everything that it had to offer. Lots of opportunities. Bigger school, but smaller community, I would say. I too am living in one of the LLCs, the Liberal Arts and Sciences. That really has helped me because I got to know a lot of people on my floor pretty quickly. I say the biggest thing is just get involved. Like everybody will tell you that, you'll hear that a million more times, but as Samir mentioned earlier, we do a week 0, which is where they have activities literally every single day, mostly at every single hour of the day. And it's just different things like sand volleyball, they've got crafting, all kinds of different things, and you can do that piques your interest. You kind of pick and choose what you want to go to, but just be open to meeting new people and just making those connections, because making them early on will be very beneficial for you.
Great. Thank you, Kaylin. All right. We are going to wind down our time here, but before we do that, I want to make sure I give us a little space and time for the breakout rooms. So thank you, by the way, student ambassadors, for joining us. Looks like classes are back in session tomorrow. So some of your faculty members, but that was announced while we were sitting in here. So some of the faculty members may move classes online. So you'll have to kind of check with your individual faculty members. But in the meantime, stay warm, stay safe. Next up, I want to give opportunities for the breakout rooms. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll close up and we'll finish with the scholarship drawing. So right now, if I can do this correctly, I'm going to open the 3 rooms. So again, your choices, and students and families, you're able to just move yourselves from one room to another, or if you have questions need assistance, then just let me know and I'll do my best to move you. But essentially, if you have some small group questions you want to ask, for our financial aid team, our housing team, or one-stop and first-year advising. You're able to do that with the 3 professionals you already met. Keep in mind that they may not be able to answer personal questions. Obviously, it's a group setting. We want to be careful to not disclose personal information. But if you have kind of some broad questions that might apply to many people, or at least not divulge personal information, you would have that opportunity. So I'm going to open those 3 rooms. It's not required that you go into those rooms. The admissions team will still be in here, and I think our student ambassadors will be in here if you have other questions. So we're going to allow this process to go for about 10 minutes or so. So we might just go a few minutes over, but then we'll wrap up and do our scholarship drawing. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you see the rooms and you can move yourself to a room based off the title. And presenters, I'm trying to get you moved there if you haven't already moved yourself. And in the meantime, if you have other questions that are not specific to those areas, or even if they are, those of us in the admission side, we can try to do our best to answer those in the chat, or you're also welcome to just unmute and ask here in this setting if you'd like. Yasmin asks, how do I create my MyWSU student email? Dana, thank you, answered it in the chat, or answered a question in the chat. But I'll take the Yasmin one, but if one of the staff can put the answer to how do you create your account, that would be great. First step would really be going to mywsu.wichita.edu. You have to make sure you create your university account. To do that, you will need to have your MyWSU ID that was provided to you. It's in your admission email or your letter, your paper letter, if you have a copy of that still. So look for it there. If you don't have that still, just contact the admissions team. We'll be happy to send that ID to you. You're going to need that. And then you're going to need access to the email account that you essentially indicated to us on your admission application is your kind of default account, email account. So make sure you go through the steps on that process to set up your account for the first time. There will be some prompts that you have to follow. Once you are going in that, then you will be able to start accessing your email. And it's important you do access your email on a regular basis, even though you're not perhaps quite yet a Wichita State student. Our financial aid team and many other departments do message to your university email as kind of a first preference. Anna asked a good question in the chat about, is there a shuttle or transportation to close cities? There is certainly an airport available in our city. I would say it's a medium-sized airport. It's not one of the largest in the country, but it's medium-sized. We do have direct flights to many other cities, ranging from, of course, Dallas to St. Louis to Denver is a major hub, Chicago, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., a few other spaces as well. So that's available. We do have Southwest Airlines too, so I know that's a really affordable option. So that's something that I know people and students take advantage of. And then in terms of shuttles, we don't necessarily do shuttles to close cities through the university, but there is, there's both city bus that's available throughout the community, and then also like Greyhound and those kinds of large bus transit systems are also available. But that's probably your best answer on that. Let's see, Addison, I see a question about being a student athlete. you were told to go directly to Gretchen with your academic questions. I think that's probably a good starting point. If Gretchen wanted to refer you to someone else, Gretchen certainly would do that. If your question is just basic about majors and things like that, that might be something we could help with. But Gretchen's definitely the go-to for student athletes.
Bobby, I know someone had a question about Clash of the Colleges. I'm not sure if they're still on, but I didn't know if someone would be able to address that at some point too.
I don't know if any of our student ambassadors want to talk about that, if they've competed in Clash of the Colleges. I see Braylee unmuting. Go ahead, Braylee, go ahead.
All right, so I went to Clash of the Colleges. I wasn't really sure what it was, I went there, but it was really fun. We have all of our separate colleges, so it's like engineering, health professions, liberal arts and sciences. I think there's some more few, but it's like a bunch of fun little mini games as well as like some bigger events. But I think it was a really great experience for me, especially like when I was getting familiar with campus. I got to meet a lot of other freshmen, and have a lot of small talk while you were doing activities to kind of break the ice. So it was really fun. And there was a fireworks show. They had rock climbing. But overall, it was a really great experience, and I would really recommend going so you can kind of like get out and meet other people who are probably in the same boat as you, new on campus. But it was really fun. I enjoyed it.
Great. Thank you, Braylee. I got DM'd a really good question. If you had to give parents just one piece of advice, what would it be? I am a parent, but my kids are really young. We're not quite here yet. We're kindergarten, second, and fourth grade. But in my years of working with parents, and Dana may have some advice, and Darlene for that matter as well, because they're both parents of college students. What the advice I think I would give, Dana actually did a really nice job of connecting you with the resource earlier in the chat. There is a Shocker Family Facebook group that's super active. Parents are often posing questions in there. I'm smiling because sometimes they're like questions that probably students should probably be researching on their own, but sometimes parents are going to parent and they are going to get a little more involved. So as one example, with our inclement weather that we've had, parents are asking questions like, well, will the dorm dining hall be open? And the answer was yes, it will be. And our dining team answered the question. But those are also things that students I know can and should investigate on their own. So there's all kinds of fun things like that. But then there's also really helpful information about upcoming important dates, what's going on, if there is inclement weather or other activity on campus that might impact a lot of students, other resources parents should be aware of. If parents are coming to town, it's a good resource to lean on other parents and ask about things like, good hotel recommendations and things like that. So Dana shared the link earlier for the sign up for both the Facebook group and then also the there's like an email listserv that you can get signed on to. So Dana, if you happen to catch this, if you don't mind re-adding that back at the end of this chat, so then that way parents can find it, that would be great.
Sure. And I'll just add, as a parent of 3 who've been to college, there is a great payment plan that you can sign up for. There, you don't have to pay all your tuition all at once. I think it's like $35 a year or a semester. That's great. And then, let your student make decisions and kind of seek out help. But many students may wait until the last minute. For instance, I had a student that was making a D in a class, and he waited till last minute to reach out to his first year advisor or the Student Success Center. So just really encourage, and I know the Shocker Family Network does a great job at providing some tips for that. And I know we sent out a parent brochure recently as well. But just checking in with them and seeing how they're keeping up with their classes, if they need assistance and tutoring before it's too late, before midterms, before the end of the semester. And then, encouraging them to seek out one thing to do outside of their major, and not to just go directly back to their dorm, but to really seek out something to do outside of their major to kind of get involved. The students that we find maybe that aren't having the best time at college are really not making the effort to go out of their little circle or get out of their comfort zone a little. So I think I have lots more, as Bobby knows, but you can always email me. I'll put my email down there as well in the chat.
Great. Thanks, Dana. And yes, I do know that you often have a lot of advice to give, and I'm teasing you because I know it really is good advice. Question, students considering gap year, does WSU hold the initial freshman scholarship to start the year after the gap? I would tell you, and generally speaking, no, we do not. We're not able to hold those funds. There is a rare exception or two, depending on if it's a student who has been deployed for military purposes. But for the most part, we unfortunately are not able to hold gap year scholarships. Darlene gives some good advice about checking email often for students. I do think that's really important. And I think we have rounded out the questions. I think everyone is going to be coming back in here shortly, and we'll kind of finish up with our final announcements. And Dana, if you haven't already, if you don't mind resharing some of the parent information in terms of the sign up for the newsletter and also information about the Facebook group, that would be great. Okay, I think all of the rooms are hopefully closed and people are finding their way back to us. So I'm going to wrap up with a few items here, and we'll do our drawing for our $1,000 scholarship. So I mentioned this earlier. If you do one more thing with Wichita State in the next month or so, this one is a really important step to take, and that is attending our WSU event. It is on Saturday, March 22nd. It is on our campus, so it's your opportunity to come down and see us in Wichita. You have this opportunity to meet with academic representatives, register for orientation and pre-enrollment. You can learn about student organizations, on campus job fairs. I mentioned we have a signing day booth. We have some fun swag. We're giving out yard signs to students who have completed their orientation and enrollment. Yard signs obviously say, future Shocker, and you can put them in your yard at home. We'll give away some book scholarships. You'll get to meet a lot of people. We have all kinds of mingles and huddles where students can get to know each other. We do one for Kansas City area students specifically, so you'll have an opportunity to meet some other Kansas City students. So would love for you to attend. There's no cost, and it's available. And then I mentioned the day before is the opportunity, if you're able to come in the day before, where you could actually be guaranteed some job interviews for the fall semester. When you sign up at this link that you see here, that will give you the opportunity to sign up for the day before experience if you're looking for that. And I will warn you, by the way, if you are thinking about traveling down and if you're thinking about staying overnight, this is also the same weekend as Wichita hosting the first round of the NCAA tournament. So our downtown arena is hosting the first and second rounds. Games are on Thursday and Saturday that particular weekend, so hotels are going to be pretty busy. So you might start looking at options soon to make sure you have a space if that's what you're looking for. I just have a fun, quick 30-second video, kind of showcases some of student life. Right. I like to end with that one. That one's the shockers up. Here is that checklist that I provided earlier. I just want to make sure you had access to that. I think I'm going to now do our drawing for a $1,000 scholarship winner. So I have one of our staff created the magic wheel, as we call it, where everybody's, I'm going to show you, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but I have a wheel, a magic wheel on my phone where everybody's names are on it. I'm going to spin the wheel and we're going to see who the winner is of a $1,000 scholarship. So here we go. All right, the wheel is slowing down. You can't see it very well. Our winner is John Murfin. John, are you on still?
Yes, sir.
I see you, John. Okay, great. So if you don't mind just sticking on here for just a second, that would be great. But I have you down, John, as our winner. We'll follow up with you and get you some more details. But that is what I have for tonight. We will follow up with the recording of this event and allow you an opportunity to catch certain parts of it if you didn't get what you need. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you continue to stay warm. I'm not sure if school is going to be canceled up there for you tomorrow, but however your day is tomorrow, I hope it's warm and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for spending time with Wichita State. Cheers.